we need to write the equation of a linear function. Sometimes we call them the rule of the function. So an equation is that rule from algebra that we need to remember. So a linear equation, remember we have been graphing lines which look like this, right? Here's a line, just like we did in Algebra 1. So what we need to remember is how to write the rule for them or the equation of that function. And what we're going to use in this class is slope-intercept form. So some of you will remember that y equals mx plus b. So in order to write a rule or an equation for a linear function, we talk about how the two variables x and y are there, and then we have this m, which stood for the slope, and b, which is the y-intercept. So those are the two things I need in order to write a rule or an equation. For example, if I have the function that we worked on a little bit ago, let's use this one right here. So we did this in our last lesson. Here's our line. The slope was 4 over 5. The y-intercept happened at -4. So the equation or the rule would be y equals 4/5 or 4 over 5 x minus 4, because that was the y-intercept. When we write the rule, we don't really care about the x-intercept when we write the rule. So here's another one. My slope on this line was negative because the line was going down. So my slope was -1/3. My y-intercept is -1. So my equation would be y equals -1/3 x, because that's my slope, and then -1, that's my y-intercept. And I need y and x in there because we're talking about those two axes, the y and the x, and how they're related. This shows the relationship between x and y on that plane. So I could do lots of different ones of these. If I wrote like the equation y equals 2x plus 3, that would mean, that's a rule, that means my slope is 2. That means it goes up 2, and my y-intercept is 3. That means it starts at 3. So if I take that line y equals 2x plus 3 and I graph it, which I'm going to try to do here for you. I'm going to have the computer graph it for us so it looks prettier. That did not work, so let me fix this. And that should be a 2. Okay. And then we're going to have the computer graph it. If you see here, I'm going to put this on our page. This starts at 3. My y-intercept is 3, and my next point is 2, so my slope is 2, or 2 over 1. So that is a rule. So the rule, again, or the equation, is y equals, and we put our slope, we call that the m, multiplied by x, plus our y-intercept. That is our rule. So when you're talking about slope, you're either going up or down. So you're either adding or subtracting. So it's either plus or minus. And the y-intercept could be a positive or negative. It just depends where it is. So this one is positive because it's above. And remember, if it's below the origin, it would be a negative. So that is a rule or an equation for the line.